Thank you so much, Kiran. Can you hear me all? Thank you so much, Kiran. Can you hear me all? Guys, please wait for a few folks to join. Uh, it's still 6:45 p.m. So wait till 7 p.m. or 7:05 p.m. Just 5 or 10 minutes, then we will start the session. Okay. Can you hear me all? Okay. Can you hear me all? Okay. Can you hear me all? Okay, so let's start the session. So today, first of all, thank you so much for joining the session. So let's start with the definition of normal definition of automation framework. So framework is a set of definition or rules or instructions to make the task convenient and efficient, which ultimately incorporates the easy maintenance of the code, test data, and reporting. So basically, we write a set of instructions through automation framework. Let's take an example. Like we know about Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is a kind of a framework. Like it is a software. It is a plugin, but it is a framework basically. We record the test steps, and we further edit the test steps through commands, and ultimately we see logging and everything through the ID. So we are just implementing Selenium IDE in a form of automation framework. So framework basically a kind of you can say small software, little software where you define constants, test data. You have separate classes for everything, logging, reporting, uh, test cases, business logics, everything. So basically, an automation framework is a definition or rules or instructions to make the task convenient and efficient, which ultimately incorporates the easy maintenance of the code, test data, and reporting framework. You must be familiar about it. There are five types of automation framework, but basically we use data-driven framework, keyword-driven framework, and hybrid framework. For a data-driven framework, as its name suggests, there will be a functionality which is driven by many data, different types of data, different varieties of data. So in that case, we will use external sources to incorporate test data in that functionality. Keyword-driven framework is basically we are using actions. We are basically taking actions from the external sources. If action from the external sources and the defined in a framework, in a class, in Java class, if both matches, then that actions will be performed. Now, hybrid framework. Hybrid framework is the combination of both data-driven framework and keyword-driven framework. And there are some other frameworks like linear framework. Linear framework is similar, like we are just linearly writing each steps. So, guys, if you have any confusions, just type in the comment. I will reply you. So, till now, any confusions, guys? I hope there won't be any confusion. Now, prerequisites to develop a framework. The minimum RAM should be 500 MB. Windows should be Windows 7 or higher. IDE like Eclipse or IntelliJ. JDK, JRE configured, as you all know. jar files like Selenium jar files, POI jar files, log4j jar files. Now, today our main agenda will be on data-driven framework. So it is not good to jump directly to the keyword-driven framework because it will be highly confusing to you all. So I decided today I will take a live session on data-driven framework. And once we are clear with all the pictures of developing a data-driven framework, then further we will take live session on keyword-driven framework or hybrid framework. So today our goal is to achieve 100% with data-driven framework. So I will teach you whatever I know, how I have worked in past projects to develop a data-driven framework. So guys, if you have any confusions regarding anything, just type in comment. Okay. Can you hear me, guys? Just confirm me once because I'm not able to see your messages in Hangout. I'm just replying from my mobile by logging with different accounts. So please confirm me. Are you able to hear me? Kiran Besalini, Shini, can you hear me? Okay. So data-driven framework, an automation framework which makes the efficient use of multiple test data for the given functionality. And the test data are maintained through external sources like Excel sheet, JSON, database, YML or YAML, text file, XML file. I think you are getting my voice late. It is taking time. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, I continue now. So the jar files required are Selenium jar for Java, Apache POI, log4j jar files, extend reports file for reporting, testng. Now, here are some of the steps which I have defined, which is required to create a data-driven framework. So, first step will be create a new Maven project. Now define dependencies in Pom.xml. Add some external jar files if required. Create one folder which named resources. So this resources folder will keep test data sources like Excel sheet, properties file, like that. Another folder name will be container. The container will contain all the additional files like Chrome driver.exe, Gecko driver.exe, iDriver, whatever additional files you want to keep. Even you can keep auto itexe file if you are uploading some data from external sources. So container will keep all these external .exe files. Now uh, create a create another folder for keeping the reports. So these are the steps you can follow. create a data-driven framework. Now next, if you create a Maven project, there you find a folder called src test Java, src slash test slash Java. So there are two folders, src slash test slash main and src slash main slash Java, and another one is src slash test dot Java slash Java. So here for testing purpose, we use src slash test slash Java, and the first folder will be used by developers. So now here in src test Java, first we will create base package. So what is the use of base package? So base package will hold base page dot class file, base test dot class file. Whatever basic operations we perform with help of Selenium, we will keep in base page dot class. So in base page dot class, we can generalize, we can create a method which will be generalized for clicking any element, explicit weight, taking a screenshot. So we will just generalize all the basic methods like mouse over and any other actions class. So we will generalize in base page dot class. So here in base test dot class, uh, we will we will generalize all those methods which are used at test level. So let's say setting up browser, tear down, creating reports, creating logs. So all these test level generic methods will be written inside base test class. Now another package we will create utilities package. So in utilities package, we will create a class file for log dot class for logging, Excel reader dot class for Excel reading, JSON reader, YML reader, whatever test reader you are following. So here you can define listeners file, retry. So whatever that will comes under utilities package. Now test package. So in test package we will basically keep test in the file where all the test scenarios. Uh, so all the executable test files will be written inside test package. Now coming to controller package. So in controller package we will keep POMs. So POMs will be two. POMs are of two types. First, normal POMs like as you all know, like creating a separate class file for each and every functional pages. If you are using e-commerce website, so there will be PLP page, PTP page, checkout page, payment page. So there will be separate forms. So that will be inside controller package. Another technique you can use for defining forms are page factory model. So I will go with the generic forms, not with page factory model. So here we are not using BDD, BDT basically cucumber. So we are just going with the normal. So if we are using if we use cucumber, then we can create another folder or another package to keep the features file. Um, Now the today's agenda, we have these are all the background which is required to continue with the data driven framework. Now, coming to today's agenda. So today's agenda is we will learn to create data-driven framework. Now, then we will set up Maven project. So this is whatever we are doing. We are doing for this data-driven framework development. So for this, we will set up a Maven project. Then we will take this data from Excel sheet. Now we will define logging, reporting, and further we will create form creation page object. So now, guys, any questions? Just type in the chat. If you don't have any questions, then I will continue. Just let me know. Shall I continue? Okay, so now coming to the Eclipse. Now, here this part is important for you all because here we are going to create a new framework. I have already different frameworks for my different clients. Like, there is collect another client. So I will create a new workspace. Is anyone here from manual testing? Guys, please respond. Is anyone here from manual testing? First, we will create a Maven project. Now go to other Maven project. Guys, here you give the group ID. So here we got the Maven project. Now we need to define the dependencies. So we got source file here, source one is main and another one is test. So as I told you here, like we need to work on source test Java. So we will work here Java. Create a new package. Everything loaded here. Vaishalini, I'm going to use Excel sheet. Do you want me to cover with Jason? I'm going to use Excel sheet to take test data. Basically, what we will do, I will keep all the test data from Excel sheet to the hash map, and further hash map with the help of hash map, uh, we will we will manipulate the test data. And Kiran, you have question like how will you do this? So we are not going to introduce explicit weight in form, like we will define explicit weight in a generic manner in base page dot class, not in pom.xml. In pom.xml we are only going to define the dependencies. Just wait for this is loading now. It's created properly. So guys, just ignore this package. Vaishali, Kiran, any questions? Okay, so first we will create a base package. Then utility package, roller. Yeah, sure, sure. Let me go with Excel sheet as planned, and then further I will share I will take a separate session on JSON file and YAML file. Is it fine for you? Or if we have time at the end, then I will create a separate methods and separate class for JSON. So just go with the plan. Base utilities test and controller. Controller. So now we need to create two folders. One is resources where we will keep all the properties file, test data sources, JSON files, whatever we are using. Another one will be container folder. Just introduce two new folders. Sources, one will be container. Now everything is ready. Now we need to define the dependencies. So here pom.xml. Uh, we get default dependencies as JUnit. Uh, I will just take dependencies from my previous project. So one need to wait and find Google. Just take it from. You can just Google and find it from Google dependencies. So just let me tell you something about Pom.xml. So in interview, basically they ask like what are the elements available in Pom.xml. So first we define dependencies in Pom.xml, and apart from dependencies, we define properties like if we are connecting our project with let's say Bamboo continuous integration tool CI tools, then here we define properties of the Bamboo. And this apart from properties, we use some plugins like Maven Surefire plugin, Maven compiler plugin. So there are different, like there are lots of advantages of having pom.xml. So Maven compiler plugin just compiles all the codes. Now here from my previous projects, I'm taking the dependencies, whatever dependencies we are going to use. We don't need cucumber. I'm skipping this 10G, log4j, Selenium HQ. I think this project does not have. So let me check. Okay, so here we have extended codes. See, here we use plugins also like Maven Clean plugin, Maven Resources plugin, compiler plugin, Surefire plugin. So when you give interviews, so basically they want to know whether this resource really knows about form.xml. You must be aware about all the architecture of this form.xml. So let me copy dependencies from here. I just keep these dependencies between these two dependencies. So here uh, it is building the workspace. Now it's 98%. Now, so in base package, we will create two classes: base page dot class and base test dot class. So in base page dot class, we will generalize all the Selenium activities like click, explicit wait, type, whatever. So let me tell you, return class base page will be base test. So in base test, we will define like test level methods like setting up browser, screenshot, reports generation, everything. Now in utilities, we define log class. So first, define utilities class, log dot class. So we will go with log first so that we can implement logging in everything. Log, we define a method to static logger get log data. there is one file called log4j.xml. We just need to copy paste this because this is the standard preset condition. So we will just copy and paste. We don't need to do any modification. This file, XML file. Just copy this um, this, and here we will define this log4j.xml. Log4j.xml. Return type. Logger dot logger dot get logger, and the class name will be return. So we just set up the log dot class under utilities, and we will just call logger here in base test so that we can use log logger at the framework level, test level. So here we find object state logger logger equal log dot log data in class name. Class name. So here we use log dot class dot get name. It will just pass the current class and logger log and yes, if we want to implement logging, so basically we will just extend this. Extending this. So, what I said earlier, like in base page, we will write a generic method of all the Selenium operations, like click, typing something to the text box, explicit weight, whatever. So here, let's go with first click. So we will define public void click bar and string locator string locator expression web just simple Guys, if you are defining any methods, so don't forget to keep in try catch block just to handle the exceptions. So it is always a good practice to define your own custom exceptions and defining your statements inside the try and catch block. So just I will write try, and now first it will compare, like here logic is if any user is giving like xpath or id or name or class name. So here first we will use comparison, and then after it will invoke the driver dot find elements by something so and so dot click. So first here we will use comparison. So if loc dot equals ignore case xpath, if it is xpath, then we perform driver dot find element by xpath, and the xpath expression will be x dot click. And here we will use logger dot get info. Here we will print the info, or we will just log it like logger dot info. Message will be clicked on, just type the locator. So the log will be printed. If it is not XPath and you are using ID, else loc dot equals ignore case id, and then driver dot find element by id, and the id name will be inside dot click. Okay. Or you can say user clicked by XPath. User clicked by id, or you just remove the id. So like this uh, you can define all the all the locators, like I defined xpath id. Then further you can continue with name, partial link text, tag name, class name, whatever you want to use. And at the end, if user given nothing, just type else logger info user didn't provide any locator. Now complete the catch statement, catch exception dot. You can write your own custom exceptions. So first we define click by. So click by is generic. So wherever we are using any test, and we have to click on any element, just we will use click by. Now similarly for typing anything, so we will again write a generic method complete void type, then the again just copy everything, just with same change text. Next is about typing over any text box. So likewise, you can generalize any of the methods like mouse over, selecting elements, drag and drop, whatever, like highlighting elements, or using JavaScript, whatever you want to do, you can define it with this generic method. Just I will define another one for explicit web, public void explicitly wait driver wait wait driver wait driver, or just define time by default 10 seconds. Wait dot until expected condition. Let's go with the visibility of the element. So visibility of web element. Here we have only. Again, you can give the logger dot info visibility or just type element then catch. So likewise, you can just generalize all the Selenium methods in base class. Now base test. So here in base test, we will capture everything from the configuration file, and then we will define like screenshot, reporting, browser loading, everything. So here in resources, we define one properties file called configuration file. Right? This file. Now you define config or properties. So here we define properties file. So here we define the browser name, URL, and everything. Browser, let's say Chrome, URL, use Google. Here in container, we will keep Chrome driver.exe. So I will just copy it from my previous project. Wait for a few minutes to respond. Guys, can you hear me? Is there any questions till now, guys? Just ask the questions. Are you getting it or not? Just ask the questions. Are you getting it or not? Are you getting it or not? Guys, do you understand whatever I am doing? If you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah, Vaishali, please ask your queries. So here, find the code path, driver path. Yes. Yeah, Vaishali, go ahead. Please ask your question. Go ahead. Please ask the question. Okay. So here we define the Chrome driver path inside the container folder, like container slash Chrome driver.exe. So in resources, we define the properties file. Now coming to the base test. So guys, in various websites, you have read that you must have read like they are using some property class to read the properties file. So but that is quite that adds few lines of extra codes and that is quite lengthy. So I will use a single different technique to read properties file. So here I will use a resource bundle to read the properties file. So here in base test I define itself public static resource bundle. I will use resource bundle to read the property file. Import the package Java util. Now, with the help of resource bundle, we will read the properties file. Okay, so also here itself define the path for screenshot. Public static. So guys, you must be knowing the basic Java concept of using the static. So I hope I should not tell these basic concepts. Public static string. Okay. Now we will write a generic method to set up browser. So public static setup, public static, and its return type will be WebDriver. WebDriver setup browser. I will tell you why its return type will be WebDriver. Here it will take in test case name like this test case we are running. Okay, so here we can use. uh, Before that, I am. Let me. Just a minute. Now, here in configuration properties file, we have defined the Chrome driver path, URL, and which browser. So, we need to read this data first. And here we have the source. So, source, source bundle dot get bundle, and here we will just define the property file name. So here we gave the reference of config.properties, and now we have to read the browser name. String browser equal to source source dot get string, and the key will be this browser. Okay, so read the browser name. Now we have to read the URL. String URL equal to source dot string, and the keys before URL is URL itself. Here now, if whether this browser field is null or not, whatever it is getting from config.properties might be null. So first we will check whether it is null or not. So here we will check browser dot equals more case. First, first we are checking whether it is null or not. Okay, so equal to null indication here. So if browser is not null, then it will proceed further. Okay, if browser is not null, then we will perform further operations. So, okay, so the efficient framework is that framework which have a log of everything, like log of turning up the browser, turning down the browser, the total time to execute the scenario. So all these ultimately, see, these these things does not matter for the small test cases, but ultimately if you are working and if you are getting lots of stories, so ultimately your pack will be around 700, 800, or maybe 1000. So in that case all these things matter to count the performance of the test case execution. So currently in our project, we are running 1000 test cases per day in continuous integration server headlessly. So in that case we are also working on performance optimization, where we are using extra time, where we are giving the extra weight, what kind of techniques we are using. So further, currently we are working on code refactoring in our project. So all these things really matters to optimize the performance of your test cases. See, automation is not about like we just got the stories, we got some requirement, and we have just few lines of code in WebDriver, and we have just written the codes and automation is ready. That is not actually the automation testing. If you are doing automation testing, then you have to think like a developer. Like developer used to do code optimization, refactoring, uh, code quality check through Sonar Cube. So all these operations we are doing and we are completely following all 100% DevOps too. So guys, you need to take care of everything. So here we will define the timestamp, like at what time this browser gets turned up, and then further we will go. So here we will use simple date format Java class to note down the system date. Simple date format, so df equals to new simple date format. Here you define like in which format you want to get the time. So depends on you, like it's your convenience to define the format. So here I define our minutes. So we just import this. Now this is the simple date format. Uh, Simple date format to get the time. Now we get the time. We get the date. And we just call the date plus date date. We import file also Java util. Now we have to convert this state into string so that we can print it on the console. So string formatted date equal to format symbol date format dot form pass a document here, then string dot trim. Trim will simply remove all the white spaces. So now we got the date time whatever. Uh, it will display the time at time where the browser is turned up. Now we will just noting we will just log it dot info. So it will go to the new line as is name one tab name at time URL has been moved. Place is not mandatory, but just depends on the conscience of the testers how he is customizing the framework. Now here logger All these operations will be performed when browser is not null. Now we have to choose the browser based on the requirement. So we will use comparison here that the browser is not null and browser is Chrome. Here we will perform all the basic setup which is required for to make the browser up like uh, exchange. First we need to make Chrome driver path sources dot get string. Just copy the driver dot exe. Guys, we got the Chrome driver path. Now we will do system dot set properties. System dot driver dot Chrome dot driver, and here we will pass the Chrome driver path. Now driver Chrome driver driver dot Inviul in just the repeated one driver dot manage dot timeout dot time. Now maximize the window driver dot dot maximize. Here the log will be our dot import right. If it is not Chrome, suppose you have even the Mozilla or Chrome Drive or Internet Explorer or Safari. Here we are not implementing those browsers, so simply same log like browsers dot error. This is the error message of use logger dot error is configure framework for the process. The error of this, and here for this we need to print the error message is dot error at browser. Okay, now we have to return something, so add return type. Here return type will be driver. So this is all about setting up the browser. Now we have to tear down the browser. We have to write method to tear down the browser. Okay, public void tear down the driver driver dot loads driver dot. Guys, so we have written method generic methods which will be implemented at the test level, that is setup browser, and another one is tear down. Okay. Now we will here guys, one thing we have missed, like we need to add add a to text file to record the logs. So I will just copy that file from my previous project. So execution log. Here are the previous logs, so I will delete it. So guys, one thing you should note down from in log4j.xml file. So here you need to define this log file, like execution log. Whatever you are using, you have to define it. Make sure that if it does not match, then logging will not be recorded here. So log4j execution log. And now we will write a generic method to take screenshot, and this method will be used when test case get failed. So we will use another method, generic method for tick string. Its return type will be string, so that we can use it further with extend reports on test failure. Capture screenshot drivers. Try. So guys, I have already defined a path, screenshot path. We will just implement here screenshot path file. This is the way to create a new folder or get. So by doing this, we are just creating a new folder to keep the screenshot. So new file dot get absolute path, that is string, or to string, convert it to string. Further, we will trim the white spaces. Now we will define the folder name. So basically, we are keeping the screenshot inside the test report folder. So here, test report dash screenshot. So this is the folder name where destination where we will storing the screenshot. Now we will implement its interface text screenshot. This is the interface. Is equal to, now we will typecast it screenshot driver what is. Now we will define the source file called file source screenshot source file source dot get screenshot as output type dot file type dot file. Guys, now we will define the destination file name. So guys, here as a destination file name, I just want to include the current class name. So here string. I will just define str string thread dot this dot, or we can thread also, thread dot thread dot dot get name. We can get class name dot thread dot class. So we got the class name. Now we will define the destination folder of the screenshot string destination equal to path plus its current last name dot plus, or we can give the time also, like current time system dot no time plus dot png. We are just defining the format of the screenshot. Okay, then file destination equal to new file. Now we will just copy the source of the screenshot to the destination. So this is file utils dot copy file source to destination. Now we will just log it, logger dot. Guys, whatever operations you perform, don't forget to keep the logs of everything, because at the end, uh, log helps you to identify the loopholes. So screenshot captured, and here we will just define the destination path where the screenshot has been captured. Okay. And we have to return this path. Just guys, give me 1 minute. I just have to plug in my charger. Okay, so it is returning the destination now. So everything is done for screenshot. Asking for local. Now, now we will create a generic method for test for reporting. So here we will implement extend test. So till now, browser setup done, browser teardown done, screenshot done. Now it's generate test. Edit, then test, generate test, extend code, code, string, test name, string description. Okay, guys, we need to import this one. It's very simple. Simply use extend this this import dot test. Here we will give the test name and we can give description also. And that is test. Now we will define a separate methods for pass, report failure, report pass, whatever. Okay, so just we will write public static void report fail. This method will invoke when any test case will fail. WebDriver drivers can test in expected 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 value actual. Now here we are using the concept like screenshot will be captured only when the test case will be failed. So here we will call the screenshot is capture screenshot command. Now screen screen equal to capture screenshot. Uh, there is a method called add screen capture inside the extend test. So we will add and here we will give the path of the screen screenshot. So like whenever test case will be failed, that screenshot will be captured and that will be stored inside the path. Okay. Now we will log it. Test log log. We have to log the failure. So log status dot fail. Okay, and here we will define the expected and actual data like get and here we will add the path of the screenshot. This is all about report failure methods. Similarly, we will write the method generic method to put the pass static void port pass. Then here we use the WebDriver because of this captured screenshot. Otherwise, nowhere required WebDriver. Here, since it is the pass method, so we will not use screenshot. So we are avoiding the WebDriver. So extend this string expected string so this dot log log status dot pass. Just write the expected. So guys, this is all done. Base test. We have also done the base case. We have also created the log. We have configured everything. Okay, so let's jump to the last portion of the framework development. But guys, here test case will be reporting will be only done like when we are using driver.close driver.quit. So similarly, we need to close the reporting. That's then only it will print the reports pass and failure. So here pass system is both. As here we will close the reports also. Report dot is report dot flush report dot full. So guys, base test class done, base test class done, logging done. Now 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 we need to jump to the controller where we will define the business logic, and then we will define a test data provider class for getting test data from the Excel sheet. Uh, Create a new class, test data reader. Last was I guess I'm going to here in resources itself we will keep the Excel file. First create an Excel sheet. Here I am just storing the Excel sheet manually to the workspace so that we can work. Guys, any questions till now? Just ask your queries. Who else are here? I see only two candidates. So, guys, if you have any questions, just ask. It won't take more than 15 minutes now. Guys, any questions? So, guys, here we'll get data like uh, one project. Okay. So, guys, I'm just taking this to data node. Guys, any questions? So, I will store it to the folder. There, just name it test data. So, this is yes, the Excel sheet is ready. Now, we will store these values to the hash map. So here we will use this, we will use a generic method to read this data from Excel sheet, and we will store the this data from Excel sheet to the hash map, and further we will use that hash map as per our here void public void read this data. Guys, since we are taking data from map after storing from the Excel sheet, so I think we should return this data in map itself, right? So the return type will be map. Okay, let's see further. Then now we will define the path to the Excel sheet in path. And let me refresh the project. So here test data Excel sheet came. Now find the path. We can take it. We can also define the path in configuration properties. No issues. Sources, sources, dash, test data, dot, select. Okay. So we just define the path to this Excel sheet. Since we are using Excel POI, we are using POI to the this data. So we have to add POI to the project path, configure with path. We are using external jar files of POI. We didn't define its dependencies. What is POI? Apply. Okay, it's building the workspace. It's 0%. Guys, if you have any questions till now, you can ask until the workspace gets loaded. Vasalini, Kiran, Anu, anyone is ask the questions. Now use file input stream. Use file input stream and here pass the path as a argument for the package. Now here guys, if we are not using try catch, then we can define the same. We can just throws. We will use throws keyword and we will define the exception. So, but it is always a good practice to handle exceptions through try catch, and it is also good if you are using your custom exception. So guys, we are using xlsx file. Okay, so for this xsf xsf we will use interface which is having prefix as xsf, and if you were using xls only, like here you see the extension, then we could have used this hssf one. Okay, so here workbook would be equal to new xsf workbook, where we will pass the file into the string. Okay, guys. Now we got the workbook. Okay, then we have to get the sheet. Okay, sheet would be like let me show you. Like see, this is workbook, and this is called the sheet. Automation live system. This is called the sheet. Okay, so sheet. We are just using interface sheet or simply sh for short, equal to wp dot get sheet. So here see the suggestions like get sheet. If you are knowing the sheet name, then you just type the string name of the sheet. Else you can go with the index number. So sheet get sheet at index at 0. Okay, so we got the sheet. So we got the sheet now. So here if you see this, so this workbook, we got this sheet. So we reached here. Now we need to retrieve all the rows. Okay, so first we will get the last row, like how many rows are there. So we'll just define integer last row. So we can like by this we can expect how many numbers of rows are there, and based on that we can use the loop. So sheet dot get last row number. So this is a method. We got the last row number. Now we will define the hash map here. Okay, so map. So first in map, we generally use key value pair. So first key will be string, and that string will be the this sheet name, workbook name, testdata.xls. First key is string, and inside it we will use the sheet which is having test data. So again, for as value we will define another map. So string map, and it will have key value pair as string. So that is both, that will be both string and string. Okay. Now we get file map. You can say new hash map, just copy it. Okay, both. So we just created the file map which is having test data as key and sheet as another value. Now we will define this map. So map, just simply copy it, map, and call it data map. Data map equals new hash map string string. Okay. So we will basically store this map inside this map. Now we will retrieve all the data from Excel sheet through loop. So for in equal to 0, row equal to 0 till row less than or equals last row number. Okay, last row. I just so this loop will start with row number 0 till the last row. Okay. Now we will get the row number basically. So row equal to, so row is inside the sheet. So we will use sheet dot get row, just pass the loop inside. Okay. Now access dot get row, we got the row. Now we need to get the value of the column. So we define Excel data in two columns, key and value. So we will get the cell as cell. First we will get the key value. Okay, cell key value. So key value is at the zeroth column, first column. So key value equals row dot get cell. It's on 0, so 0 dot get string cell value dot trim. Just remove the parentheses. We got key value. Now we need to get the row value. Okay, wait, I will just keep it. We got the key column we got. So we just write key call. Now we need to get the key value. So string key data, simply say key data, so key call dot get string cell value dot string. Okay. Now we need to get the value. Key among key value we will get the value. So that is on the first column of uh, first indexed column and second column. First in second column having first index. So cell value call equal to row dot get cell first index string value data equal to value call dot get string cell value dot string. So guys, we got the key value here from Excel sheet. Now we have to put these values to the map. So first we will use data map. So data map dot put the data and value data. Now we will put this data map inside the file map. Okay, so file map, file map dot put here key as a key. We can define the sheet name test data, and as a value we will just pass this hash map data map. So guys, basically we have just stored the test data inside the hash map. So like here the return type should be hash map since we are getting data from the hash map. So we will define hash map as its return type. Replace void by this file map. So now it is asking for return type, so we will just return file map. So guys, this is basically to read test data from Excel sheet. Okay. Now see if we have to call this method, then that is little bit complicated. Okay. So to retrieve the data, we will define another method. Get the data in a simple manner. So we will define another method called public static string. We just need a string value for get map data. So if you are passing any key, then it will retrieve any value. It will give you any value. So here map string string map data equals. Now we will call this method test data dot. Okay, so we have to make it a step. Okay, so here now dot get. So here we will pass test data this one. Okay, now we need value string value equals this map data dot get. You just pass the key and the value will be returned. So we will use this get map data method to retrieve any value. Guys, any questions till now? You ask if you have any confusions. Now it won't take more than 15 minutes. Okay, so guys, we have written test data reader. We have defined log. We have defined base page. We have defined test data configuration file. Now it's time to write a business logic. So simply we are using Google. So we will use Google. We will open the Google and then we will search for uh, any any value. Okay. So let's make some XPath. Okay. Let's make our hands dirty with XPath. First, first go to controller and here we create a new class for home page validation. Okay. So we'll just write home page. Now we are using POM. Okay. So here only we will define the XPath or whatever expressions we have to use, like private, static, final, string, com. So here, so guys, there should be some strategy if you are designing any test cases. So firstly, as a checkpoint, I will suggest you should you should define some static checkpoint that is not going to change whatever the DOM of the page changes. So as a checkpoint, I will recommend you to use the this title of the web page, logo of the web page, or these links, uh, menus, navigation bar. So let's capture the XPath or ID. So guys, here its ID is lstib. Okay, string search bar ID. Okay. Now we will capture the XPath of this Google search button. And yes, create the XPath now. Guys, we have created the XPath. Let's validate. So I'm using this plugin to the XPath in Google Chrome. So see, this is highlighted. This XPath is correct only. Again, private static final string search button. So first here we will write a method. Basically we will write a business logic as a method to to perform the Google search operation through automation Selenium. So public void, and guys, since we will be using generic methods from this base page, so recommend you I will recommend you to extend base page here. Extends base page. Okay, just extended the base page so that we can easily use the generic methods. So public void public boolean search validation. Okay, the driver can test. Okay guys, so here first uh, just you will use explicit wait, okay, just to load the search bar. So here we are calling explicitly wait method. We will give the element name, element driver dot find. We didn't define a generic method for element name, so that's why we are using here. So we just call it explicitly wait here. We called it on base page. Now we have to type something. So we have defined type method also. We will just call it here type in locator will be search bar ID, expression will be ID, text will be whatever text we are going to give. So we will use text from Excel sheet. So we will call the method get map data. Import the package, import utilities dot the reader. So guys, this data reader dot get map data, and we will pass the string. Just we will see what are the parameters. its key is key one. So we will use key one. Right. So here we will pass this value. Now we have to click on Google search button. So we will call click by method. Operator will be this one. Search button and will be its path. So if all these operations are done, then the reporter will pass this boolean flag false. All these things are done, then flag will be set to true. Turn flag. Okay, this is the general operation we are doing just on home page. Now here in controller itself we are defining the forms. So this form it contains the business logics. Now coming to test, we will create a test.ng file here. My test before method, after method, test, and will extend this test. So guys, here in before method, we will load the browser, but first we will define WebDriver. We will create an instance of WebDriver, instance of extend reports, and extend test. So WebDriver, driver, extend reports, extend test. Okay. Now in before we will define reporting and browser setup. Okay, so extend equal to new extend ports. Here we can define, we can create a new folder for reporting. Okay, manually I am creating the folder for the project. Here it added. So guys, here new file. we are just giving the path to the reports. Okay, get absolute path dot trim or trim this test report. Just get the path name. That's class dot. We are just adding class name with the report to identify whether we are so that we can identify the reports. Okay, plus HTML. This is HTML reporting, HTML report, and we will give false so that uh, so that each reports will be appended. A previous report won't be deleted. Now is equal to generate a test report test name. So here we will give extend test name. We can give the class name dot get class dot get simple name, and we can give the description like this is for test. Now the browser will be set up. Driver equal to setup browser. Name class name will be the test name here. Okay. Now browser is up and set up. Thereafter method we will call the tear down. Okay. Then now in test we'll call the business logic find in controller homepage. So we will simply fetch imported from controller boolean test test home equal to home dot search validation. Okay. Okay guys, so now here we will validate. We will send test and failure to the report. Okay, so if test home equals to true, then report was expected search bar a search results actual search results displayed else the report will be failure or fail. Okay, so the next copy search results in display. And here, just to stop the test, we throw an exception. It is like assert command. Okay, let's try that. So guys, this is all about data-driven framework. So our test framework is ready. Now we have to execute and we have to report the result. Just run it, run as test and test. So guys, see here the logs have been printed. Test name my test. Start time URL google.com. Browser is Chrome. All the logs came here.